What we were trying to do was come up with a way to track winter tick numbers from year to year in hopes that we could predict years where there might be a large die-off of moose related to ticks, so that then we could adjust harvest levels whether or not we thought we lost a lot of moose to winter ticks. There's been a lot of other studies that show that large infestations of winter ticks can kill calves mostly, or reduce the health of yearlings. So that's usually how it has impacts on the moose population, but what we were basically trying to do was come up with a method to try and track those tick numbers from year to year in hopes that we could.
So this is the new, I know each moose comes in, you're checking for ticks.
Yep.
This is a new...
We've been doing it. This is the 4th year we've done it. Yep. And what we do is there's 4 different areas on the moose where we'll comb the hide back and count the ticks, and then we compare the average numbers of ticks we find on the moose between years and try and identify those years with high numbers, high tick loads on the moose, and then get an idea of. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some sort of range where we can identify years of high tick infestations. We also track some weather information, which plays a role on how big the tick population is that year, so we can compare the tick numbers to some weather patterns, and then that gives us an idea of how bad the tick year might be on the moose.
Yeah. And winter tick, what's the difference between a winter tick and a regular tick?
Well, I guess the most common ticks that people are aware about are deer ticks or black-legged ticks.
Yeah.
Winter tick's just a different species of tick. Anything that brushes up against them in the woods, they'll attach to. They really only cause problems for moose. It's thought because moose groom poorly against winter ticks, so what happens is they get really large infestations of ticks, whereas deer are more effective groomers, so deer will get all the ticks off in the fall when they're contracting them. Moose wait until the spring to groom, but they've already have thousands of ticks on them at that point. By that point they're taking a lot of blood out of them, causing them to groom a lot. So that's why they tend to impact moose more than any other species.
Kind of amazing that an animal of that size gets taken down by something that's so small.
There's been they've estimated up to 150,000 ticks on a single animal. In some of the studies they did in Canada, they figure average numbers of ticks on a moose in Alberta were about 30,000 ticks on a single moose.
Wow. And what are you seeing here today?
We don't do estimates of whole estimates of ticks. It's very time consuming to do that. So basically we're just getting some index numbers that we can compare from year to year to give us an idea of infestation levels.